this will be the last Israel update live from Modi'in and for a few weeks, I guess, because Hanoch is going to be joining us once again in the diaspora. He's going to be an exilite.
Well, I do have to just clarify one of the terminologies.
Okay.
Diaspora means the dispersion.
Okay.
I'm going back into the galut, the exile.
That's right.
Okay, but anyway,
I'll get all my Hebrew terms right one day, and until then, you can translate for me.
Show enough. Yeah, I have no idea how I will get packed and ready. This is trip number 24 since August 2013. Somehow they all seem to come together. But in any case, lots going on here in Israel. Every day that it seems that Prime Minister Bennett is able to get past the latest associate that has betrayed him and gone back on their own promises, it seems there's someone else that, rises up, like Et2, whoever. We did have that astounding vote against continuing Israeli law in Judea and Samaria that had Netanyahu and his cronies voting against their alleged ideology just to try to topple the government. So this is chaos personified. Meanwhile, even though this is a bizarre coalition, including an Arab party, we have been more aggressively confronting potential terrorists and wanted terrorists and suspected terrorists throughout Judea and Samaria on a daily basis. There are more and more arrests being made, which is why, Baruch Hashem, thank God you haven't heard about any attacks. At the same time, Israel took a very aggressive position, wiping out the Syrian airport, the runway. Sorry, lost the word.
Yeah, the
runway,
big piece of concrete down the middle. Yes, I got it. Yeah,
and making it clear to Assad that his palaces in and around Damascus are next. And that's all because of the Iranian arms shipments that keeps going through. America's President Biden is coming to Israel and Saudi Arabia and wherever else. How he'll stay awake for all those days, 3-4 days, I have no clue.
Well, I was going to tell you that you might want to just tell everybody that you know of in Israel that has young children that there's about to be a baby formula shortage in Israel because they have to put something in his sippy cup.
Well, listen, it's like, those people who've been complaining to me about the price of gasoline in America.
Yeah.
And what I've done recently is I've encouraged them to break into their stash of toilet paper that they've been hoarding for 2.25 years and start trying to sell it back. But, I don't want to go down that road. Too much to talk about here in Israel. So all that stuff is going on. In the meantime, very interestingly, the European Union is signing a deal with Israel for natural gas, which is going to be coming from a natural gas supply, storage, whatever, in the Mediterranean. That's the one that all of a sudden, now that it's real, Lebanon is claiming for its own. Be prepared for some fireworks. But that interaction with the European Union, of course, because they need it, because Russia, that's funny, I was about to say the Soviet Union, is clamping down on exports to the EU. So all this is going on. And once again, just yesterday, I had an experience proving to me that people cannot use common sense and they have to reinvent their own crazy nuts cuckoo conspiracy nonsense without ever. I have actually had two experiences in the last week, one of which I'll relate in a moment. Pardon me. I just have this dryness here. Okay. Excuse me. While I was guiding people recently, something came up about the number and percentage of Israelis who have been vaccinated. This was not a conversation that I started, but it was between other people at the table, another Israeli and his wife, and these people that I was guiding. So they said, like, isn't it? And then they came up with some like bizarre percentage. So I said no, and of course, I did something that no one else in the world can do. I went to my phone and anyway, and it's a high percentage, but not nearly as high as everyone seemed to think. The bottom line is, this one individual said, well, of course it's so high because you Israelis had to have it. It was mandated. No, vaccines were never mandated here. But yes, didn't you need them to travel abroad? Hello? I'm sorry, are we talking about Canada? Or are we talking about Israel?
Yeah.
So when I said, why did you think that? And when the person looks at you sheepishly and says, I don't know. Now, again, this particular person doesn't just know me. They know a lot of Israelis. Why does no one ever ask? Well, I don't know if you've heard, we've had tremendous delays at Ben Gurion Airport. I don't know if you experienced it. Okay.
No,
Now,
mine was not terrible, but I've been seeing some pictures online of Ben Gurion. It's been pretty rough getting out.
Right. I personally am going to get to the airport 5 hours early before my flight, just because I don't need that anxiety and I don't have the wiggle room if I don't make that flight to take another one, let alone the money for a new ticket. But so the reason for that is the airport is horrifically understaffed. They laid off all these people during COVID. And when they went to rehire them, surprise, 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 they had other jobs. Again, tourism has just begun as of March. And every Israeli who can pack a suitcase is trying to flee, run to somewhere. Israelis have this tremendous thing about needing to go. And it's funny because they're even Istanbul, Constantinople is a big destination, even though our intelligence sources have proven that there are Iranian hit squads going throughout Turkey looking for Israelis, but Israelis are still going. Anyway, so someone who I know on Facebook posts this picture and people are asking, gee, why is it so crowded? So one of their idiot friends, not one of my idiot friends, one of their idiot friends writes, it's because Israel is about to preemptively strike Iran, so they're fleeing the country. Now, okay, let's pause for a second. So this person said, no, I was talking to the people to the right of me and talking to the people to the left of me, behind me. No, this one's going to Cyprus, this one's going to Europe. So I had to write something saying, I spoke about the understaffing, and surprisingly, I didn't print the line of, do you not have anything better to do than make stupid stuff up about Israel. But I did say that there is no rumor of any imminent strike against Iran. People are not fleeing the country. I just
Well,
don't know how to deal with this stuff anymore, Mike.
I was, and it's interesting because I was talking with somebody the other day, and we got in a conversation on this new live golf tournament that they have, and they're sucking all these PGA guys into this. And so someone was asking me about it, what my position was on there. And I didn't really want to go into the whole thing because, Saudi Arabia, they're doing some stuff that's well, besides the political and the abuse and all the things that they put China to shame in some areas, but they're also going after tourism and spending just boatloads of money. And I said, I don't, they said, well, would you go over there and be a part of that if you had the chance? I said, absolutely not. I said, I don't go to Muslim countries. And the guy said, but you just went to Israel. And I went, Israel's not a Muslim country. And he said, well, they're all the same. And I just kind of, I just looked at him as like the people just, I guess they're in their own little worlds. And this is somebody that has really no biblical foundation in life, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the amount of people that really have a clue of what's going on in the world today, very, 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 very slim.
It's amazing. We, of course, get criticized all the time for being a Jewish country.
Yeah.
So this guy, Muslim, Jewish, whatever. He's probably thinking there's no Chick-fil-A. So, it's the same difference.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Unreal.
And Chick-fil-A would have a dilemma if they went to Israel, because would they close on Saturday? I don't know. But this is all about to change. The world is about to be totally enlightened because, well, the event is about to happen. Hanoch will be in the United States and will be speaking. So all is well.
Limited number of speaking engagements. This is the first time in my life I have ever turned down speaking gigs. I have scheduled it in such a way that I get to spend more time with the people that I want to spend time with, including Kathy Clayton. I'm sorry, Mike, I just had to say it that way. And you, Mike, and Kathy plus one. No.
Yeah, my dog is practicing her growl just for you.
Well, hey, listen, whatever works. It's interesting. I'm in a very different headspace, and there's a lot to share with people. And I think people, I entitled it, "Are We Out of Time?" And that's not really what I wanted to write. I wanted to write, "Are you out of time?"
Mm-hmm.
But I want, this is again, I don't do the kinder, gentler. I can't even speak English.
No.
This is, I'm going to have to do signs, we're going to have to do shadows, that kind of thing. And, it's interesting. People need to, on the one hand, be inspired and see there's something to aim for.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, sometimes people need to be given suggestions. You could put that in bold and italics, of how they may achieve those goals. Like I think I may have mentioned this to you previously. It dawned on me that, there's a congregation that I've been going to regularly since August 2014. And they probably have the smallest percentage for a fairly large group, the smallest percentage of people who've ever been to Israel.
Mm.
And no one is saving for it. And they all say, we don't have money. And I sat there again using my little calculator on my phone. I figured out that if each of them had started saving $30 a month when I first started going there to speak, they'd be on our Connect to Israel experience on October 31st. They'd be landing alongside you. So it's a little disheartening, but I think people need to know that on a certain level, things are going fabulously well, but where they're going, where that's happening is here in Israel. Recently I had the opportunity to be at Har Bracha, the Mount of Blessing, and listen to our dear friend Tommy Waller, who, by the way, you'd be so proud of him. Not only was his presentation fabulous, but he kept throwing zingers at me. And I kept thinking, I wonder when Mike was with them a few weeks ago, if Mike said, by the way, when Hanoch comes, you may want to say to him, and sure enough, Tommy's giving it with the left and the right. Okay.
Well, the truth is that Tommy was not there. So I had to, but I left him notes.
Well, evidently, and I got to meet another one of his sons that I had never met before, Nate.
Oh yeah.
But Tommy said something, and he's talking again. The audience he was speaking to were Christian, and he said, Jews do prophecy. We Christians watch it. We watch it happen. We watch for it to happen. And I thought that was an incredibly powerful comment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many people internalized it. It's very interesting. We are all living in an age where the entire world is about to turn, to change. Things are morphing. Now, there are people who will stand up and pontificate about the silliest thing. And I read something today which proved to me that you can prove just about any point. I'll give you an example. Chocolate is necessary for the continuation of life. Now, you may think, Hanoch, you may like chocolate. You may even love chocolate. But no, that's not correct. And then I would say, Mike, wait a second. Dinosaurs never had chocolate. Look what happened to them. Just look on the bright side of life. Anyway, so you must be excited about Connect, because I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, because we are going to probably have, after a Connect tour, we will probably have the highest percentage of any congregation in the United States, including
Absolutely true.
Jewish synagogues, of people that have been to Israel.
That fact has not been lost on me, by the way.
This thing of focus. Throw out something to you that we haven't talked about. I was over at mutual friends for Shavuot, Gates to Zion, and I didn't really plan on this. I actually put this in my notes right at the last minute. And this kind of goes along with your what you have told me about your presentation, which is very little at this point. But there is this thing called the doomsday clock. Okay, and I guess these people, whoever these brainiacs are, they get together certain times whenever, and they adjust the doomsday clock closer to midnight. And I said to the group, I said, I'm not looking to the doomsday clock. I'm looking to the kingdom clock.
That difference is what sets you so far apart, Mike.
But
You have to realize that.
uh,
And you cannot get people's minds out of the dirt. You can't get their heads, which they've sunk down deep,
mhm.
up, looking around, saying, this is, we are on the verge of a tremendous
Oh yeah.
opportunity, the
But see,
greatest in history of the world.
part of my part of my part of my thought process on this is that these people get together and they look at world events and they change the timing on the doomsday clock. Is it possible, Hanoch, that the mitzvot that we do, the things that we accomplish, the things like you coming to America and reaching out to people that, let's face it, we're in the same book, but we're in different parts of it. Okay. There's so much in common, but yet there's so much that's not.
Yeah, that's very
Um,
true.
the of Tommy and Hayavel and the work that they're doing in Israel, of just going on a trip there, and as I got to talk to an Orthodox Jewish man about making Aliyah. Okay, is it possible that in the scheme of things that we are able to affect the kingdom clock?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And each one of us has some key role to play. You can get one of those 1,500 piece puzzles, and without the one tiniest piece,
Mhm.
it will never be complete. Who knows that one person that you're helping, the $5 a month that you donate to a charity, and who knows,
Yeah.
who knows what difference you're going to, and you cannot keep making excuses. And that's part of what I'm going to try to help wear away from people. Stop telling me, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah. But to
Every
the
one of us wastes $30 a month, no doubt about it.
but to the people
I
that
gotta save it.
listen, the people that listen to us on a weekly basis, for the most part, are doing something. You know,
Yeah,
they those that don't do anything have tuned us out a long time ago. And so I just want to take an opportunity for a moment as we finish up, Hanoch, to those of you
yeah.
who are out there that are doing something. And it may not be that you're giving, thousands of dollars, but you're doing something. You set your phone at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the evening, to recite or proclaim the Shema. You're standing up to your family when they say something derogatory toward Israel or the Jewish nation or Jewish people. You're doing anything, even if it seems like such a little place. It's, as you just said, somebody has to have that one piece of it. And it may be that you do a jigsaw puzzle. Somebody comes in and puts in 1,499 pieces of that 1,500 piece. It's not finished until that last piece is put in.
Which it might be you
Yeah,
that has that piece.
we've got a lady that every once in a while sends an envelope with $2. I think is $2 for Israel. Is she the one holding the piece, the one piece? I don't know. So for those who have been
Yeah.
faithful to do something, mazel tov. Kol hakavod, whatever Hebrew word you want to come up with, continue to do what you can do. And the people that don't want to do anything, whatever. They're not going to stop me. You know,
They
a
are,
person that
they are,
doesn't do anything is not going to stop me from doing what I've got to do.
you know, you can go to the coach and say, Coach, take me out of the game. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want the challenge. I'm not having the success. I'm not having the enjoyment that you know what? And that's what I would actually rather. I'd rather, instead of people who constantly have told me, like, we're a part of Israel. If y'all don't want to do anything, not a problem. Just go off, live your life, but stop whining.
Yeah, my focus
Whining.
has been, and I try to continue this focus more and more. Focus on the people that are wanting to do something, encourage them, and the others, they'll sort it out in the end.
Well,
Hey,
listen. Yeah.
go ahead.
No.
I was
I
just
was
going to
just
tell you,
gonna.
have a wonderful flight, which is something you normally don't do. Travel well, which is something you normally don't do.
No.
Pack light, which is something you never do.
Actually, I'm trying. The packing light. But
Let,
like,
let me tell
this
you.
is,
No,
yeah, this
listen.
is the time. I always pack like 7 or 8 books because I always have so much spare time to sit and read, and study.
Yeah, I've lived by faith for about 30 years. I don't have that much faith to believe that you're going to pack light.
All
It
right.
ain't happening.
So, well, I'll just have to. By the way, I do have a very, very small Mike Clayton section in one of my suitcases, so I can't tell you anything more about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will. I'll wait to see what happens there. So see you soon.
I'll see y'all soon.
Take care,
Take
bro.
care, guys. Bye-bye.